A vast expanse of pine trees in the fog. All while the splash screen urges that this is haunted, I can never tell what's vanilla and what isn't. Oh look, my character actually follows my cursor around. Hello everyone, and welcome back once again to Minecraft. This time, we're checking out the beta for the Sentimental mod pack. Yeah, I definitely don't remember any glowing gem mushrooms underground. Now, I have very little idea what this is, except that it apparently has something to do with dreams. I was actually given beta access to this mod pack by a user on the Discord, so thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to check this out, as well as an invite to the server where they offered support if I get stuck, saying I likely would get stuck. But I'm going to try and freely explore this as much as possible because, from what I understand, this is a Yumi Nikki inspired mod pack. I am so invested in the idea of potentially being able to do that in the space of Minecraft, where procedural generation and being able to do anything with different blocks is combined with that dreamlike surreality. World name, The Cozy Stress. You know, I like the sound of that from the very start. Let's go ahead and turn commands on, because this is a Let's Play. I'm going to turn on Keep Inventory After Death, just because I'm not sure to what extent we're going to have to worry about, like, survival and what dream states actually mean. And otherwise, I think we keep this as is. Look, when we're presented with a world that's basically titled Creepy and Comfy right out of the gate, that's fate right there. Here we are. At a glance, this seems like Minecraft, but it's so much more desolate. I don't think I recognize some of these blocks either, unless they've been retextured. No, it's just gravel. And these trees look different as well. For survival, it's going to be tough starting in the middle of a big desert biome. We actually can't turn this petrified log into wood, but look. We start off with a single durability flint and steel. And your snow boots. These were from Mom. There's a tag on the inside of one of the boots that's now unreadable. We're actually starting with something of a backstory. Wandering this plane, not sure how we got here, but some inkling of who we are and where we came from. It seems so peaceful, actually, in the fog. We haven't even tried going to sleep yet, and already I'm amazed by how much this reminds me of a particular stage of Yumi Nikki. Oh, hey, we've got a floating tree, a waterfall beneath the gravel. Let's see what's going on down here. Oh, without any equipment, probably not a great idea to check that out. What I need is to find some usable trees. This petrified wood doesn't break down. There's also a number of resource packs and mod settings and all kinds of other things that I'm not going to look at because I don't want to know what's in here. I want it all to be a surprise. Oh, the sun is setting already. Let's go see what's over here. I mean, worst case, we could eat some of these fish, but I don't even have weapons. Is this wood also going to be petrified? River log. Well, at least we can make something out of it. Well, you know the drill. We now have our basic wooden tools. But I can't try dreaming unless I have a house, and I can't build a house unless I have wood I can actually use. And finding that living tree by the river's edge was something of a savior, but we still find ourselves wandering the desert. Now all we need is a horse. Unfortunately, I can't find a name tag. Oh, what are these? I feel like I'm learning this game for the first time. It's so unfamiliar. We have tomato seeds. Desert tomatoes, imagine that. So the survival mechanics are affected as well. It seems like we're dealing with some truly massive biomes, though. I've been walking all day, and I haven't found a thing. Actually, now that I look at it, we lack a hunger bar entirely. It seems like it's kind of a hybrid between the current system, where being full heals our health, and the old one where just eating heals our health. So it definitely seems like it's trying to reach back to those like nostalgic beta days. And wandering Minecraft back then, in this fog, when it seemed so endless, and when endlessness in a game was such a novel concept, it sort of felt dreamlike. Now, what is this? Well, some type of new wood. It's black wood, actually. Hopefully I can make my house out of it. I mean, just think, building a gothic cabin? What is it, actually? Driftwood. I can't tell you how much I love this idea of being in this survival situation that is so dreamlike on its own, so that I can get myself established, find a place to lay my weary head, and begin escaping into dreams. I don't know if there's going to be more to this overworld, if this is the only biome there is, but I just had the thought that even if this is all there is, it would be appropriate. It would give the player like a gameplay reason to feel a need to escape. It seemed over here like, yeah, we've got more grass terrain. Does this indicate a shift in biome, or is it just a little oasis in the desert? Well, we have coal. Whoa. Whoa! What? What just happened? Okay, I guess we don't need to go to sleep to start seeing strangeness. Looks like it is finally starting to get dark. I have no idea what to expect in terms of mobs, so I'm gonna go ahead and start building myself a cabin. Yep. We haven't made our way out of the desert per se. Just giving ourselves a little bit of a break. One torch here. One here. It didn't seem like it at first, but there are definitely shaders at play. Because when I pull out that torch, I can see what I'm doing with it. Oh, God, you scared me. The fact that this place is literally made of driftwood that I found on the beach makes me weirdly happy. I cannot believe how much this changes, but I can see creepers starting to spawn on the horizon, so some things never change. We definitely need this place to keep ourselves safe. But I'll tell you what I'm thinking right now. I might start playing with this just as a matter of course. Having nights actually be dark like this, your dwelling oddly becomes a whole lot comfier. Being in a place where safety is expected, where you believe there are no monsters, and that your safety is assured is also a good feeling. But oddly enough, there's kinda nothing better than believing that there are monsters out there, that the darkness is encroaching and will consume you if you let it. But you've got your little torch right here, safe in the knowledge that these walls will keep you protected. You see, the feeling of insulation from danger, the more I thought about it, the more I believe it's a sort of reward mechanism for finding yourself shelter. And the more I think about it, the more I feel like it's some sort of reward mechanism for successfully finding shelter. Unfortunately, in the absence of beds to sleep in, and therefore dreams to distract us from the night, there's not really a lot to do. So this is what people did before video games, huh? Just sat in the corner and listened to the zombies clawing at the door and waited for the sun to come up? Morning is here. Let's get to seeing what we can do. Now, what is this strange structure by the beach? Almost looks like a subway entrance. And as it seems, that's precisely what it is. Wow, I never would have expected that from where I was standing yesterday. There's something that really creeps me out knowing that I was camped out up there while this was just sitting here, me totally unaware. Yeah, how does one actually make better tools? Because I'm pretty sure if I try to take this iron by breaking it with the pick, it's just going to destroy it. Unless the next stage is like copper or something. This is always the problem I have with doing mod packs. Like, this is comprised of over 200 mods. And so if I want to figure out how something works, it's not going to tell me, and I have no idea which of those mods to look at for an answer. I love how even the world gen here seems to defy logic. One little patch of grass in the middle of a desert, a staircase from nowhere to nowhere that should seemingly lead right into the sea. It doesn't help that it's so narrow and dark and looks like it could collapse behind me and swallow me up at any moment. But with no idea how to make iron or stone tools, we at least have copper for now. So let's see if we can braid this place. It is literally as narrow as it could be. That's the most scared I've been by zombie noises in a long time. Oh, that's a lot of them. You keep away. Oh, there's little damage things. Oh, that's a way lot of them. I wonder if there's any way for me to turn that off. Okay, as long as you all stay here. Does the sword have longer range? No. As long as you all stay here, I should be okay, right? I've got to find what's spawning you. You've been going this entire time, haven't you? Like, one of them's got armor and a jack-o'-lantern for a head, and tools. So that's one evolutionary pathway we're gonna want to head off as soon as possible. What is that over there? Wait, are you a living dungeon? Huh. Okay, well, let's hope we have enough to take you down. Doing damage, and you're dead. Destroy it. Hurry. No, come on. Hurry and destroy it. There it goes. And you lost all your will to live as a result. I'm not used to not being able to hold things in my offhand, but you guys are in every cranny. I think the map geometry is actually serving me quite well right now. It's like the only thing keeping you from swarming me from beyond. But we've, after a long and hard battle, secured an inroad at the very least. Whoa! Whoa! We can light you on fire! That's, interesting. Interesting development. That's really cool, actually. Well, now we've got this to worry about, and we're not going to be protected by that, because we put our own stair down. What are these spawn rates? Okay, switch to torches. Get ourselves out. Here they come. Actually, you know what we could do? That didn't collapse as much as I expected. There we go. Well, that serves us for now. We barely made it out of there. There were so many of them. Well, we got some crappy chainmail. I don't want to lose these boots. I'm going to put them away. They have sentimental value. To try eating. Wow, we snarfed all that down like instantaneously. But we are regenerating. I hope all that matters and it's not just wasted. While spending a second night cowering inside listening to the waves, I've actually noticed something kind of strange. If I walk around and stop my view, settle it here, nothing, it's still as ever. But if we give it a moment, we'll start to have a little bit of bob, almost like an idle animation. And I think it may even grow in intensity a bit, yeah, the longer we wait. Oh, hey! That's, a skeleton horse. You're just around? These just exist around here in the deserts. I understand it's dry, but this is ridiculous. Speaking of survival being different, I have learned how we need to progress. So copper is the necessary next step, but we need to actually combine it with gold, or something to that effect. The point being, we need to dig down, and thankfully some of the digging is already done for us. Well, I'm not seeing anybody here. We're gonna have to do some work to make sure it stays that way. No, come on, why can't I place this down? Are those stairs? It's hard to tell with the texture. But while we're here, these are gonna start flooding in. And we need that to very much not happen. Well, it's too late. What is going on with these spawns? So forget that thing then, we're gonna need a proper mine. And the best place to start that is going to be up here. At least this way we won't have a bunch of sand caving in on us. Okay, here we go, gold. Whoa! That was like all the terror of suddenly falling when you mine through into a cave, except we didn't do that. I've got to find some more coal quick, though. Still, I am going to need some of that iron as soon as possible so that I can start shearing sheep and actually sleep. This thing feels like such a weird hybrid between the old and new, but I guess that's the idea. Okay, that's some kind of vine. What I need is that gold. We can make stuff like gold rings to increase our movement speed. We can make rose gold alloy. Well, with this, we can more than mine our iron. So I would say we have just turned a pretty big corner. New idea for a backrooms game. A map where everything is completely dark to start with, and you have to illuminate it. Baby pig. Well, you're full pig now. How did you end up down here? Do you have any idea how far we are from the surface? How many turns removed? This is highly dubious. You're starting to become a symbol of my whole experience, to the point where I'm wondering if you're even real. And don't forget, I'm still at the point where I don't fully even understand what this mod is, so really anything can happen. Now this is dreamlike. Having to run up here and feeling like it's getting farther away the more we climb. Like our legs fail us compared to real life. Hey, so you just heard that echoing call from the deep, right? Well, now we got shears, which means there could be a bed in our future. If only we could actually find some sheep. Which is actually quite a big ask at this moment. Interesting ambiance. Seems almost horror-themed. You know, like when the caver is about to unearth something that's been earthed for a reason. I think I see what's been done to tools, so they have traits alongside that. So iron is unbreaking. I think rose gold had... I forget what it's called, but the speed thing. Because they were actually breaking through this a lot quicker. Much obliged. You always seem to show up right when I'm getting ready to turn back. How you decide is my next question. You led me straight to diamond. And straight to bedrock while we're at it. It feels almost guided. That is so weird. Alright, well, we'll grab all that. The chainmail doesn't actually do anything. It does add melee damage, oddly enough, but it adds pretty much the same amount of armor. Let's head over there. I can actually hear the clank of my own armor. That's... Oh, wow. Pigs are gonna take over the world at this rate. How are you guys doing this? Pigs and rabbits and all kinds of things. Are you really just naturally falling down here? Oh. There's much more of a labyrinth to this. Let's make sure this is out of the way before whatever's over there hits me, thanks. Well, hopefully this will reduce their spawn somewhat. I wonder if all the stairs lead to the same set of chambers. Alright, well, zombie movie rules apply. Do not get cornered. And maybe get your loot. I can see that it's protecting you from damage. Well, at least we get a lot of skulls out of it. Yeah, I knew these spawns weren't natural, but I think we may have actually gotten them all. Chainmail is an actual findable item. And coal. And a bomb! Okay, nobody saw me take that, and finders keepers, right? A level deeper. Does that mean a level more dangerous? Well, not for the bats, clearly. You guys aren't telling anybody I'm here, are you? Nope, you all seem to come in all at once. There goes my torch. Bring it back. I can hear bubbling from somewhere. Whoa! I can just light you on fire, and I'm dead. Where am I? Oh, right, I've never been able to sleep. I have no way of finding my stuff. I just found a random well. Pretty deep, but not infinitely deep. This is just in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, I have no way of getting back to where I was. It does away with the traditional coordinate system. A bridge disconnected from anything. This is the first real, like, structure I found, well, unless you count the dungeon. And there's a sheep. Hey, we wouldn't be in this situation if one of you had spawned earlier. That's something I've never seen before. Birds flying up. Oh my god, finally, that took forever. Okay, I'm gonna go back to survival, but what we've seen is that there are in fact other things out there. Well, thankfully, in that whole misadventure, we did find a sheep. Sheep that I had no idea would even spawn in this world. I legitimately thought the desert was part of it. I guess it's just unlucky world generation. But now, if we do have enough wood left, beds work differently. Okay, we need wool, but it takes sheets instead. Look at that, it's the classic Minecraft bed. I don't know if we even have the option of making others. Man, this music is something else, huh? I hope I can use all of it. Feels like a real moment of triumph, but uncertainty. I am not tired. Notably different messaging there. Not, you may only sleep at night. Not respawn point set. Just, you are not tired. It's strange how a game that's gotten so familiar to me in even the most basic things, it's almost disturbing when something little like that is different. Look at how harsh that contrast is. The darkness between the sky and what little is lit by our torch. I'm just not used to it in Minecraft, and it looks wrong, like there's a hole in the game. But surely we'll be tired now, right? With our new skylight in, I realize that glass has beta textures as well. Let's sleep in our little beta bed. We got the achievement, Sweet Dreams, although it does not note a respawn point set. Something about that just felt a little different. That's odd. At this point, I think I've pretty much decided that I'm moving on from here. Now that I know there are other biomes, I'd really rather just look for those. Move over land, sleep where I can, become a dream nomad. Yeah, that would be a pretty cool band name. You know what else would be a pretty cool band name is Kill the Zombies. Come on and break. Rose gold might be better for this. This works just fine. Here they come. So this is where you've been spawning. Love what you've done with the place. What are you? Ooh. A lantern. Very bright. Look at this. A brewing stand. Whole bunch of gold. So I don't think I necessarily want the armor. A saddle if we want to ride a pig. But it's the soul sand I'm really interested in. It's the man in the iron mask. You're burning, but am I even hurting you? I guess I am. Look at all this stuff you just dropped. Heart crystal increases maximum health. And what is all this stuff? Rope. Okay. I wonder if that's temporary. You actually did drop a spawner. Now, I've never seen this before. A spawner on the surface. Will it continue to work and just bring them into burning daylight? One key feeling of dreams is the feeling that something is lost and being unable to find it no matter what you do. I definitely feel that here. And wandering the desert is a metaphor that's been around practically as long as human writing. So it only makes sense that one of the more memorable levels from Yume Nikki is a seemingly endless desert. I mean, lots of things loop, but that one just did it differently. But what's the goal of wandering the desert? It's to find your way out, to eventually see some break in the miles upon miles of sand. So that's what we're doing here, trying to find any biome other than this. And I had only just realized how absolutely silent it is. It's weird. It makes this place feel not real, the way the fog falls over the landscape. And nothing, no waves, no birds, no nothing. Well, actually, there are birds, which their sprites look unreal in Minecraft, like a dream about Minecraft. But here we are. Haha, the promised land, and not nearly as far as I thought it might have to be. We're going to try and get as far as we can down this river, but I think this is where we'll make a new home. Or until we find some sort of structures that we now know are out there. I guess it's some kind of half leaf block meant to simulate tree fall. I can't even tell if you're actual NPCs, you just look like sprites on the screen, but it's what I said a second ago about a dream about Minecraft. You ever dream about a game you play a lot and you imagine all kinds of features you wish they'd add? Being all excited, like, wow, this is such a cool update, and then you wake up and you're all disappointed? I used to have that all the time about Kerbal Space Program. Things about extra planets and storylines and alien ruins, which actually at one time was planned. But all of this stuff looks like Minecraft, and I recognize almost no individual components. It's really strange. These have got to be some of the nicest looking forests I've ever seen in this game. Like, it's so rare for the leaves to truly make a canopy like this. An upper level that shades you completely. What is that? Is something standing in there? Oh, yes, there is! It's like you carried the darkness with you. The shade doesn't seem as black now that you've moved on. And you're just gone. You clearly saw me, you ran, but you didn't come for me, so not hostile, I suppose. I don't know why I feel so off-put by the fact that there's no sound to acknowledge it. You didn't let out an unearthly scream the way an Enderman might. You were just here and not, as if I am mistaken in having seen you. It doesn't seem like you want to be seen, really. How close can we get? Not very. You'll try to hide around trees as if you don't want to be seen disappearing. No dreams tonight, it seems, it says. At this point, I'm kind of wondering, for the sake of expediting recording, if I should speed it up. You know, do some time sets and see if I can manage it. But we'll give it a little longer to do things on its own time in the meanwhile. This world seems even more barren than usual. I mean, we found some ruins, that bridge when we were flying around. But otherwise, it's completely dead no matter how far I go. You figure I would have found like a village or something by now. I don't even know if they still exist. Am I really the only one out here? Well, maybe not beneath the trees. Whoa. Look at you, all majestic. But you're skittish as the real things as well. Now here are some trees that look nice in the fog. Standing so tall kind of makes your entire vision go vertical. You again. And what a time to come across you. But do you know that I've come across you? You don't seem to recognize my direct line of sight. I just need to sleep again, so I'm gonna build a house, find a spot, you know. There's a nice variety of wood in these parts. And probably just sleep over and over again. Day in, day out. May even seem maladaptive to some. But I don't care, I've got stuff to do. Oh look, there's even snow over there. Just a day's ride out from the desert. Oh, this clearing on the edge of the woods seems as good a spot as any. What do you think? We are right here at the crossroads of so many different biomes. It seems like a perfect place to build my sleep tower. Look, our needs are simple. We don't need a whole lot. We only need a place elevated high above the dangers of reality to lay our head. I feel like making the first floor dark like this and having the floor itself be made of the same material that we relied on in the desert. It's sort of like having a bit of our old home here. They do move in herds. Oh, what a creepy sight, but this means they'll always be just beyond. Alright, first night in the new home. It's gonna be a little bit leaky, the roof, for a while, but I think we can deal with it for now. And what's wrong with sleeping under the stars? Well, perhaps something. Okay, here it is, at long last. Maybe getting away from home has done us some good. The unfamiliar clashes with our subconscious. Dream catcher. Oh, never mind. Okay, I wish I had explored a little more. I guess the dream catcher is our exit back to reality. Lucid dreaming, the ability to control ourselves and when we wake. Imagine for a moment I'm sitting on this log, right? we have this world that is utterly dull to our senses, you know? There are things we can do practically to survive, fight monsters, mine resources, but it all becomes fairly tedious. After wandering around for so long and not finding a single other soul to talk to, of course, this new discovery would seem very attractive. The ability to escape into our own mind. That's a cool feature. Huh, if I'm building with something and my stack runs out, it'll automatically pull another one from my inventory. Where's that been all my life? And the answer is the mods probably existed for about 15 years, but you know me. I don't keep up with things unless I'm suggested them. I almost can't believe the level of whimsy I'm experiencing right now. Wandering off into the forest, gathering wood so that I can build my dream tower and sleep my world away. Seeing the shadows looming, but feeling them no threat. It's the rest of the world I'm worried about. I couldn't help but notice I didn't keep my inventory in the dreams. That only makes sense, but, well, here, everything is material. If I wanted to explore those dungeons, I had to make sure I was ready for it, and sometimes I wasn't. Here, well, we just can trust that it'll all work out in the end. There's nothing at stake and everything to gain. Well, let me give you an idea of the headspace that I'm in right now, because it really could not have worked out better on a meta level. I am unsure of what's in this mod, what it even does. All I know is that it's inspired by Yumi Nikki. So that sort of tilts me in the direction of, okay, I need a bed, but I simply can't. I spend hours wandering this desert, can't find any sheep, can't find anything that might help me. In fact, I think I might have just seen one disappear right in front of me, so it's taunting me with that. And the result is that I put hours into this mod, having never slept, and just kind of figuring out what I'm supposed to do. I was starting to get bored. And now that I've had just a little small taste of it, all I want to do is settle down here and do nothing but that. In other words, it's like the only being in the universe that's self-aware enough to realize how lonely it is, just had a dream for the first time, and is now reshaping its world in that image. Imagine the curiosity. Also kind of feels like a writing prompt for some kind of depressing German fantasy film. We are gonna have to do something about this leaky roof. An explorer is gonna have to serve as our roof tonight. Feels like we're dropping into a dream just now. Let's hope we actually are. Oh my! I guess it didn't happen tonight. Huh, you almost react as if you, the character, are aware that we just experienced it and not aware of what we just saw. Well, in dreams, thoughts beget thoughts, and you don't have to be fully out of your mind asleep in order to start hallucinating, right? I mean, actually, I find that those in that half-asleep state are some of the strangest. But perhaps we can still count it. It's an experience to think about. Anybody else expecting Silent Hill 2 out of that? I was. Now the birds have to fly up to meet me, rather than come down from their trees to talk, all condescending-like. So we got ourselves a diamond pick, and it has not unbreakable, but haste. So if you really need to John Henry your way through a mountain, this is the thing. I just find I don't care as much about survival anymore because, well, it's all secondary to our dreams. I'm actually curious, what will bombs do? Ah! Yeah, well, that's pretty much what I expected, I guess. Maybe some extra elevation will help us some. No rain tonight, which means there's no need for a roof. Didn't happen tonight. Night is falling, and our dream tower is just about complete. Let's see what this looks like from a distance, because I actually haven't viewed it from a distance yet. All I know is that pretty soon the ground will be swarming, and I'll be safe in my cradle above. Oh, there's one side. Well, the tower may not be much to look at, but I'll tell you what I do enjoy is the commute. One last little scare to remind us of what we're leaving behind before bed. So here we have the landing. It was a little bit difficult to get the ladder to lead straight into the room, so I thought I would just lean into making us earn our sleep. Let's go to bed. Did not happen. It's so rare. Well, look, I've got all the time in the world. In roleplay. In real life, I don't have all the time in the world, so let's see what we can make happen. There we go. Huh. Another night. And some strange-looking stars surrounding us. Man, being so high up actually meshes really well with the enhanced darkness. Makes it feel like we're floating in the void. But once more, nothing. That was a zombie riding a horse, by the way. I've never seen that before. That was just burning down on the landscape? Okay. Oh, another night again. This definitely feels like something that's more for, like, an enhancement to regular survival. Something that you're just invited to mess with every so often, an unexpected surprise. I'm noticing also that setting the time and then trying to sleep does not give me a message. So that's really annoying if I can't do it that way, because these days feel very, very long. And each one just for a chance at a dream? Didn't sleep well tonight, I guess. I wonder if there's anything that influences it. It happened again. It's got its own soundtrack and everything. In fact, we're where we were before. A brick jail cell door in the woods. But the music decides our tone. See, in dreams, it can be as out there or as weird as you want. Your emotions drive themselves. We tend to try and interpret dreams for their imagery, but really, the feeling that goes alongside it is the most important because you can read it perfectly. It's your own brain conjuring this. It's why anything can feel any way. For you, happy birthday. Well, it's somebody's birthday. Somebody watching this, I'm sure. And that was a delicious bite. But I have no torch. It's hard to navigate the dark woods if I try going through these doors. Aha! So one can lead to another stream of consciousness. Look at how bright and vibrant this is. And it's part of a larger structure, like a brick castle. But looking up and seeing nothing but sky, but unable to see over those tall walls, it makes it feel like we're really high up, or like there is nothing below us. Between the soundtrack and the place, I almost feel like I could touch these walls and they would depress under my finger. Like they're made of these building blocks that I can't even say preschool. It was before preschool. It was like this program I was in when I was like 3, but they had blocks that looked just like this that they kept in some sort of container, and you always knew it was a good day when those came out. This place is made of that, and this is so specifically appealing to 3-year-old me. A little garden that's not a garden. doesn't look safe. Not at all. I wonder what happens if I hurl myself into the void in a dream. Do I wake up sweating? Do I launch out like they do in the movies, or do I just slowly and anticlimactically open my eyes with my heart racing just a little bit more than it should be? Ah, well, we can drop down into the waterways. The water and the lily pads. Yeah, this shading thing that happens when you go into a dark area really serves this mod well. There's something here, something that looks like it doesn't belong compared to what else we've seen. We're in the inner pipeworks. Well, I guess it's all gotta work somehow. Here, give me that. And there's another question I have. If I were to have another dream, or if I were to have the same one, would it still be destroyed? Would it show differences that I had made on previous visits? That's a crazy thing to think about. I mean, it is possible, I suppose, to have dreams that build off of previous ones. You have that expectation going in. Something I've always wondered is when you have a dream that has deja vu. Huh. Those bubbles coming up almost seemed like something was alive beneath the surface. That was weird. But yeah, when you have deja vu in a dream, are you actually recalling a memory of a previous dream, or are you constructing the memory of a previous dream? Just the feeling that you've been there before. I imagine either can happen, right? But it's so hard to study. It's not the kind of thing you can measure or record, and I think that's part of what makes it so fascinating. I don't know, maybe that's something that can happen with vanilla water, but I've never noticed it before. It's a whole stack of sea lanterns. Or whatever they're called, something like that. Bookshelves. A whole hidden hideaway in the sewers. Again, right beneath something that feels like it's built out of foam. Okay, we've found our way back. But I want to keep exploring this. I definitely think that the way out is down. But perhaps not. Perhaps it just goes deeper to where the tree of life grows. I just want to go home. Are we meant to take away the interpretation that someone has been here before us, connected in our dreams? Or that the world is simply mirroring our own thoughts? Or are we getting our thoughts from the world and thinking that it's mirroring our thoughts? Dreams are so fascinating, it's unbelievable, and once you start going down that rabbit hole, there's no end to what you can come up with. 4 hours of feeling so lost, and then coming upon all this. That's an experience that's probably unique to me starting in the desert, but somehow it feels like I can't imagine it any other way. Huh. This area is entirely enclosed. But there are more doors if only I can find my way there. Oh, but life has many doors, does it not? I think this is, well, not where we were, but similar. And when we're not bogged down in the water, we can move a bit more freely. Ooh. All this bright green growth that is exposed to sunlight, but it's cloudy and there's cages overhead. It feels trapped in a way. And a house at the center. Can we peek in the window first? Just one piece of furniture. We can sit down. But it's so shadowy in here. It felt so nice at first, but the more I walk around, the more I feel like it's hiding something. We've seen its dark underbelly, we've seen the cages above the plants. And I don't know, it makes it feel like all these things are prisoners here. It's the kind of weird thought you would have yourself from no context. But somehow it's getting me there. This can be climbed, but leads nowhere. Let's leave doors open. My instinct is close them, but that'll act as a breadcrumb trail. Another house, another thing like it. I wonder if these realms are custom-made, or if they're procedurally generated just like the rest of the world, just along different parameters. Custom biomes, sort of like in Wonderland.jar, and I can't help but compare it to Wonderland. It's just that it happens in our sleep. The implication is that none of this is real. But those shadow creatures, we saw those. Wood floors. No matter where we go, though, no matter how high up we get, these walls just grow higher and higher to tower over us some more. Man, this is fascinating to explore. Just walked the plank. Ooh. Is there anything we can find? No? All empty. Empty and dark. See what I mean? There's always the promise of somewhere bright, a place where you can imagine children playing. In fact, in this place's weirdly uncanny ability to recall my own childhood, it sort of reminds me of the courtyard in my preschool. It felt a lot like this at the time. It probably wasn't quite this tall, but it had this courtyard full of, sandboxes and fun games. But you'd look up and it would be like this. You can't imagine anything outside of it. It didn't feel real. When you see something like this in a game about dreams, it's like being smacked in the face with something you couldn't remember you'd remembered. But you see how I'm just sort of intuiting all of these feelings from this? Well, in a dream you wouldn't have to do that. In a dream, it would just come with the territory. That's what can sometimes be so frustrating about explaining them. I mean, you have to be able to impart knowledge that just isn't based on anything that's actually happening. It's really cool how these chambers actually connect on multiple levels. Of course, the real test would be to try and get on top of one of these buildings. Look at that, a wool mural of a tree on a field. Getting nothing from those blocks. But yeah, I'm starting to see a lot of similar structures. Flowers arranged all in neat rows. Huh. Look at that. What happens if we try to sleep in a dream? I was killed by intentional game design. That counts as a death. We just respawn right back here. How can you not chase this some more? Well, since we have some time now, in the name of expediency, I think a good addition to the tower would be a landing pool, for in case we slip. Hey, look at this. The sun is already setting. We slept straight until night. Well, I mean, I'm familiar with the feeling, but it's actually equally as disorienting here as it is in real life, which this also means that time continues to pass here while we're in the dream. Hi. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm Snow White or what, but wherever I go, pleasant mobs seem to just sort of gravitate towards me. Okay, you guys are even creepier at night. Well, good thing I've got some safety to retreat to. Earlier I was thinking that I can't help but draw comparisons to Wonderland.jar, but the fact that it is actually our own mind we're exploring, something to be done at will, and more importantly, something which can be creepy but is not explicitly horror, is a really interesting direction for something like this. We can take all of it with a grain of salt if we so choose, or try and read deeper into it. I didn't sleep well tonight, I guess. By the way, full trust fall, how is our pool working? Yep. Well, it is, so, that's good to know. That sheep is looking at me like, dude, did you really just do that? I think it would be a real shame to only be able to sleep at night. I thought there was a man hovering outside my window for a second. You see those leaves. There we go. I think the sleep schedule is starting to impact me somehow. Well, I can't notice the impact if I'm asleep. Not tonight. But perhaps tonight. Back here for a third time, I'm starting to suspect that we're doing something incorrectly. Unless maybe each of these doors is something different? Huh. Well, we can take another slice of cake each time, or just whenever. What if I try coming through this one that was beside us? We're still in brick, but like we're at the bottom of a well. This way we get to see the top of the tower. Although we gain very little additional insight. These things duplicated beside each other. Hey, there's something in there. If we can only find a way. Walking between those, you'd almost think you were on a city block. Almost. Funny thing is, there's no way down that I can see, not naturally. So in this case, it's like we're forced to look at this whole wonderland and unable to actually reach it. This time trapped by the castle, by its height, instead of trying to reach its heights. Completely different perspective of the same map. Alright, we can do this. It's only a dream. So now we're on some lower rooftops. And there's things to see here as well. The lower we get, the less this will hurt. But it still hurts quite a bit, and as most of us will know, dream pain feels pretty real in the moment. But yeah, now I'm just kind of back to what I was doing before. Hello, innocuous-looking door in the corner. You've led to something new. A little bed with candles laid out. It's like somebody's protecting this, but no one's occupied it for years. It almost looks like there's mold growing on the walls. In fact, what even is this stuff? Well, we can't find out from this. Doesn't it seem like there's a sort of reverence to this? Like something's growing up around it, but it was really important at one time or another. Well, I guess we're sort of obligated to fall for it anyway, right? Cowabunga? This is sort of like the pool rooms, right? Well, you know me, I have to experiment. So let's see what happens if we break away a nice little chunk of the floor. Bedrock. Oh. Hey, look at that. We can come back. Well, maybe we can find something else? Seems to be the same door as before, but, look. Perhaps this is our room of doors from Yumi Nikki. Because if we follow the light, there are other structures here. Like a little abandoned village. I can't see very much. But even in spite of its abandoned state, the place still looks lit. This soundtrack is also very reminiscent of Yumi Nikki, isn't it? The kind of thing that is curious and a little off-kilter, but not necessarily bad, not necessarily creepy. It just sort of lightly informs the mood, even if it's not something you would typically attribute to a reaction or emotion. It's just ambiguous enough that it's not telling you what to feel, but it does guide you a little bit. Well, we could go through that door, and maybe it would lead us somewhere different, but I'm just kind of looking for doors that maybe have a different texture, because I'm not sure if this will bring us to the same place. But it's too dark to see anything in here, so might as well try it. Whoa. We begin in a crouching state. Look at this! We're crouching amid the flowers. I didn't know that could happen. I don't know if that's a place you as a player can get yourself naturally. And these serve as our way back. Well, sort of. It could spawn us right in the trees. You never know where exactly you'll end up. So long as we're in the dream, we're taking damage. Okay, we need to get our bearings. See, just like Yumi Nikki, it can be confusing and difficult to navigate. But the more we dream, the more we allow ourselves to be consumed by it, the more we find we actually do know the way. That's the whole idea of a recurring dream, right? They build off of each other. How we feel about an old dream will influence how it plays out the next time. And you could get something that's very different. Aha, another type of door. I wonder why the brick one seems to be the default, or... Well, this is Minecraft, of course. Maybe it's not the same for everyone. Let's explore a different pathway of our mind. Next time I'll take the subway. Oh, I saw that pinprick of light in the distance. I thought it was another of those shadow people. Okay, this is much less comfortable. There's a serious absence of light and the sound of lazy movement, like somebody leaning over in a chair or something. Somewhere. And I'm not sure if I should be trying to find them or if I should be avoiding that at all costs. There's candles lit here. But the one thing that would actually help me is out of reach. Well, this feels safe at least. This even more so. It's just adjacent to the room with the lights on. But it's got a nice comfy floor I can lie down on. However, that safety is somewhat compromised by the window and the door on either side. Do I just hang out here? I'd certainly be tempted to. There is also maybe music. Something fairly calm, but very distant. Like, I'm only picking up on the bass. Like it's playing in a club 10 floors down. Oh my god. A mannequin. These lights are so bright, they stand out so much that they almost seem to be holes in the floor at first. But they also don't seem to give off any light. Oh my god! Oh my god! You woke up from a bad dream. I certainly did. It's been so long, I didn't know that was something that could happen. It bided its time. Bit its time? Bit its time. I'm just distracting myself to try and calm my chest down. Jeez. It let me observe it, dismiss it, and walk away from it before it pulled that nonsense. I want it to be clear that this is a place of dreams to all who find us, and we found some cherry saplings in our last run through that dungeon. So let's plant a bunch of these things around. I mean, it'll stand out so much from its surroundings. The way I see it, even if no one comes upon this until I'm long gone, well, it'll be pretty clear what it's meant to be used for. It's nothing but a giant platform for a bed. And kids love that stuff. Sleeping high up is something that goes back to our monkey brain, I think. It means safety from predators. But in this case, safety from our waking thoughts. What is going on over there? You see that flashing, right? Oh, okay. I think that was just an icicle that was having trouble rendering. I don't know. Maybe the thought of doing this is inspired somewhat by that bed we found with the growths around it in the brick world. Well, time for sleep. What's cool about this is that it's supplemental in the way that Herobrine was to the vanilla experience. It's something that can be a fun surprise every once in a while, or it can be something you live for, just like real dreams. I mean, Yumi Nikki was an example of an extreme maladaptive state there. Anyway, it's time to sleep again, because, you know, it's a video and I very much am living for this. What's interesting is I'm finding that we're ending up here more and more often. It took me so many tries to get this the first time, and now it feels like we end up here more often than we don't. Maybe that's something that's been trained. Alright, so we always know to come to the landmark of here. I like that even the hub is something we have to learn the logic of. And that other door should be over in the field somewhere. Sure enough, there it is. And this time we know to keep moving. Oh. An empty set of lecterns. Alright, if I can find a torch anywhere, I'd really like it, but that sound makes me so uncomfortable. It sends a shiver down my spine, literally. Almost looks like a lit window on the side of a house at night. The kind of thing that makes you just a little bit less creeped out to know you're in the proximity of people, even if you can't see them. Yellow walls, we're in the brick-back rooms now. I do wonder if it isn't trying to intentionally evoke that. Still, some areas are just a little too dark for me. I don't know if we can carry a lit candle. I mean, it would be better than the nothing we've got now. Oh, look at this. This whole place feels like a library. Complete with little, quiet reading booths. I'll never not hear that as the sound of mannequins trying to stretch their joints into working. See, now that we've been here once, we know what we should be afraid of. Whenever we're here, Whenever they're in front of us, we'll be afraid that they're going to move, and whenever they're not, we'll be afraid that they're going to show up. That's the power of expectation in horror. Here's also the power of expectation, attributing things by nothing more than text. So if that's the sun, then the blue bricks and wall must represent the sky, right? And the white, the clouds? We've got lots of coal. Can we take that with us? A hatchet, useful for breaking wood and combat. And a radio. It seems to buzz to life when danger is near, so they're not just places to explore, they've actually got their own items and mechanics. That is so cool! Alright, we've got coal so that we can make some torches, maybe. Creakling flesh. A light snack. Why do you have to call it that? It's not a real word, I don't think. And yet it so aptly describes everything around us. Also makes us see the wood as flesh. But of course that makes sense given who we encountered here. Okay, well, since we were given explicit permission to break these down, remember, we only need one. Let's put that beside our radio. I wonder if our radio needs to be equipped in order to hear anything. But at least we can see now. Dude, I can't believe I played this for 4 hours before even scratching the surface. I knew it. I made it out is what I did. I don't know if you'll be able to hear that. I'm gonna boost that as best I can, but I heard just the faintest breathing, like a rapid, like, just somewhere. And the radio confirmed that it was something to be afraid of, but we never saw it. Was it another mannequin, or was it something else? We woke up without finding out, and that's how it is most of the time. Something else I've realized, the dream world is absolute. I mean, we could consider these like sub-dreams, but as long as we're asleep, we keep what we've taken. I wonder if the radio is universal as well to any threats we might find? Anyway, I'm just kind of wandering off into the woods at this point. We need to start being scientific. If we break this down, blackened dirt. If I try to cut into a tree, blackened log. Like everything takes the appearance of things we'd be familiar with, but it's all just ash to the touch. Or not ash, but rather it's got no properties. Nothing we can discern anyway, nothing we can focus on. If we do wander through the woods, we find another of those doors, but another structure as well. There is water. I wonder if it's normal to expect water in dreams to be colder or warmer. Hey, I just noticed you've even got your own moon. Big, bright, and blue. Directly overhead. And completely unmoving as well. Almost like it were painted onto a ceiling. I suppose for all I know it could be. This is fascinating. We're exploring our own dreams as if they're the back rooms. Coming back and mounting expeditions, but unlike other things that have done similar ideas like the broken script in Wonderland, well, it is in our mind, and so we can't prepare for it. We have only what we can find and what we decide to try next. I was annoyed that I couldn't just sleep in the bed whenever I wanted while this is active, and sure, I am using commands to speed things up for the sake of the video. But I love the fact that we can wake up and be like, come on, I was so close. And then go throughout our work for the day thinking, man, tonight I hope I have that dream again. We've got a couple of things to check out. It's another abandoned block, or maybe the same one. I think I've come too far for that. Oh, look. A playground in the woods, or... it's like a big planter pot. So what is this charming LED light? It's somewhere else entirely is what it is! Oh, I thought it was a floor is lava situation for a moment. Actually, it still may well be. Let's try and stay on the contrast while we can. Oh, I can see all these pathways, these plants made of blocks, and the gaps in between make them seem almost wireframe. Yeah, we are really seeing the Yumi Nikki inspiration in terms of visuals now, and not just general concept. I'd like so much to get over there, but just like in that game, sometimes you just can't see a path. Yeah, and we didn't make it. I forgot my parachute. It brought me back there for just a moment, only to violently spit me back out. Ah, this mod is so freaking cool. And hey, look! Our cherry blossoms are blooming. The thing I'm most excited to find out now is if we get our inventory back if we go back there. Is every dream starting fresh, or is it like this, where we don't have to worry too much because we'll keep everything in the waking world? Oh, hey, it's one of you guys, a frost skeleton. Aren't these guys supposed to take a really long time to get here? Well, I suppose they did. Back to bed. Yeah, it's like every time now. But our inventory would have to be reacquired. Is it possible that we can kind of overfish our dreams then? Hear me out on this. Is it possible to take the required items for dealing with certain threats and just kind of leaving them scattered all over the place? I mean, where do they go when we die in dreams? Into the void, I guess. But at this point, I'm just picking random directions. There are oh, you know what I've never really done? Hit F3 to see the biome. Deep subconscious hub world. Well, at least we know for sure that that is its purpose. I'm only seeing the 2 types of doors, though. Now, bear in mind, this is under heavy active development, and I'm seeing new stuff get posted in the group's Discord all the time. So it's possible that this over a month-old build is outdated. Oh man, it is just so dark, and I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do. Well, except turn up the brightness. I could do that. Actually, let's see how that looks. Video settings, brightness. Bright. There. This is... I wouldn't normally do this, I would just deal with it, but I want you to be able to see something. We must have been here before. That door is open. I mean, it's not assured, but it sure seems likely. What am I doing? Well, I haven't seen this before. The sounds are also distinctly different. Like, sometimes it's like a crowd moving a lot, but otherwise silent. Very minimal speaking. Like it's in another hall. I think this is the same sun from before, because these crates are empty. This is simply titled Home. They're all called Deep Subconscious. That's like the root. Okay, so we've got the hub world and home. I can see one there. In the shadows, it's there. Okay, move. Move. There's a big gaping hole leading all the way down. And what looks like a store or something, but with all the inventory having grown up and overtaken it. This is cool. It's all these images of normal domestic life. A store, rooms in a home, all very dimly lit, definitely eerie feeling, with little pockets of safety, but knowing that something is in here looking for us. Something that nobody else would register as a threat if we tried to explain it. And that is dream logic-y. There is an escape, but it's not something we'd want to do. Good. I think I hit the corner. Something cool is that, I don't know if it's the textures or the lighting, but this place seems almost black and white. I mean, I suppose darkness tends to look that way, but it's still cool. These wooden doors are some of the only two types we've seen so far, but maybe we have to start going further out. Random spots that are overgrown. It's cool being able to peek over the walls, though. Will it do us any good? I guess we'll not find out. By the way, there's still brightness all the way up. Ooh. We're gonna have to chop our way through with our bare hands if needed. Of course. This door is open, but I don't remember coming here. A faux bed. It's a good thing we've got this dream catcher, or we'd not be able to wake ourselves up. Are we just entirely contained in here? We are starting to see some brick structures, though. It's like they're bleeding through to each other. This is some crazy world generation. Can we dive from here? We can try. Ooh. Just barely made it, but here we are. So if up there was home, then I guess that means this is the basement. I'll walk right into you. This time, let's try not to get too close. There's nothing in the furnaces. See, I think dreams, especially those of familiar places, have a way to exaggerate themselves in the way children's memories, or maybe just their perception, tends to be exaggerated. Everything is so much bigger than it really could have been. And I do wonder if there's not maybe some correlation between how children perceive things and how dreams are stored and processed. It's just pit after pit. Identical on the inside, but there are some changes on the walkways. I have no idea if I'm just getting turned around or not. I should probably take one of these. Oh Lord, there's two of them. I wonder if things go any differently if we manage to kill them. I think that sound was one of them breaking free. Can they hear me? I don't imagine so, but it feels that way. Why are those doors already open? Was that me? I'll never know. I've encountered things that I'm pretty sure weren't. Oh my god! Nope, there's no getting away from this. Yep, down here, I can last a little bit longer? Well, no, I can't. At first, the path to that basement seems like an escape. But then, once you're down there, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. Once you're down there, you realize that you're just sort of trapped. I don't know, there's sort of a comfort in coming back here afterwards, but always an eagerness to go back. But I guess that's part of it. You're so incentivized to experiment, to explore, because nothing can really hurt you long term. And this place itself has started to look quite dreamlike. I've brought it into the waking world, but isn't that what so much of art is? Sometimes people think of things, and sometimes ideas find you, and you're just like, okay, I need to make other people understand this with me. She didn't call tonight. Is that a reference to some history, or is it just a charming way of describing dreams? Either way, you may be getting way too comfortable with this being your life. Hey! There's an Enderman in my dream palace. That might be good luck, actually. I could see that being a thing, right? Okay, well, you can stay here then. I don't know where I got a rabbit hide from. Still hanging out, are you? I always love it when you trap a friendly Enderman in your house. You know, just somebody who keeps you company with the noises, keeps other predators away, and who you can't make direct eye contact with, or even indirect eye contact. I'm just gonna head towards Lamplight, which I guess could be a name for this town we've got back here, and head in that direction as far as I can. I don't know, maybe that'll help us out. Also, look at this. I do have my things back. Of course, before I fell to my death, so I guess as long as the mannequins didn't get me, or something, maybe they did get me? Yeah, according to the log, it seems like it was a fall damage death. So I'm not sure what to expect now. We've gained some added health from the cake. That's something that I noticed, because I've been paying attention to where that extra health doesn't come from. Now we're far enough out that we're starting to see these wooden doors. I want to know if there's anything else. Well, there's a light on over there. Another of these streets. There seems to be a good amount of repetition in the structures. I mean, I keep forgetting that this is Minecraft and it can generate indefinitely. These are stone. I had thought they were like a different barked tree. Not leafless groves at all, but, well, trees of stone, I guess you could call them. Well, now that we've got a torch, we can have a look inside. There are some extra glowy pieces. A leaky roof, suggesting water being stored up above? There is water, but I can't actually get up. Well, sorry to the owner of this place, but I don't think they're around to care. If we stack some dirt to get up here... Oh, there is something. More cake. And a clock that's just doing whatever it wants. And it shows us as much, too. I mean, I guess this is sort of like a dream tower, right? We can have a seat, but can't leave. Oops. But don't I seem important? If someone else were to come here, wouldn't I seem so important with my little suit and tie and sitting next to cake? What are these? Little dirt spots where no grass grows underneath the entrance to that other place. So not everything takes the form of a direct doorway. Sometimes it's something more like this. We've even found another cake shrine. Maybe we just got lucky to be welcomed in that way. Maybe something else happens if we finish a cake. Who knows? Is it actually possible to make our way out of this? Well, probably not without taking other blocks, right? This one doesn't seem to want to break. Alright, what happens if we use a dream catcher now? Straight back, not just one level. Yeah, I hear you out there, Enderman. Here, I made you a bed. You know, should you want to try your hand at dreaming too? I mean, if two people fall asleep close to each other and end up in the dream world, that means they can back each other up, right? And yeah, I think I'm just about reaching the end of my ideas, but I see what it's going for. Huh. I've never tried walking backwards in third person like this before. Truly, this is a land of dreams. Look at the whimsy. Anyways, I actually had ended this video already, but I spoke with the creators after actually uploading an early version for them to preview, and they told me that there's actually a fair bit more even in this version. So I was going to save anything I missed for further stuff, but there's more I want to show the first time around. Here we are. Hey, there's something above this one. Maybe these were here before, but I never noticed them. Anyways, if we can find a flower bed. No, it's not this, so it must be those other structures. Well, there's something else we can try. From these blackened logs, we cannot make blackened planks. Let's get back into Neon World. And we can maybe try and... we're not going to have enough, I think. Well, what if we come over here? 1, 2... Everything being black makes it a lot harder to see what I'm doing. But we can make it to this. And down to here. Neon blue flower. And neon red flower. Now, there's actually something really cool in this mod that the creators pointed out to me, and I'm gonna have to do some scavenging to find it. Look at these spawns! I didn't even do anything! Yeah, so this whole place just, it sucks a whole lot, doesn't it? Yeah, you get out of here. I knew the world would have my back. Come on, come do something. Do something about me. Yeah. Aha! Incense burner! Yeah, they gave me the scoop on this. This is a block which, well, I'll show you. We may need flint and steel for that. So let's make that. Our room needs to have all the proper equipment in order to dream properly. So we place this incense burner right beside our bed. That is... okay, I guess that isn't how that works. So we'll just leave that there. And as soon as night starts to fall, let's try to sleep. And according to what I was told, having this here should give us a 100% chance of sweet dreams. I love this more the more I learn about it. But our next step is going to be to find one of those flower beds I was told about. Here's another town, and don't worry because we're going to have something to do with bees as well. See, as it turns out, I should have been looking for a lot more than just doors. Just about anything can potentially be a portal to another dream, and that's the mindset we need to adopt. But right here, our problem was being too polite. I was getting up there with the cake and the clock. We need to trample the flowers. There we go! The fog is even closer here. See, it has the visuals of a paradise. Bright green grass and red flowers. And it is fully lit, but in the dense fog, it feels so artificial. It's wrong. And there's tall flowers growing above us, like this whole thing is buried, recessed into the ground. It's a maze. Ooh, what are these? These tall white flowers. Rewolf. We've got a house, but seeing you stand in the corner like that makes it feel like the plants are the population of this place. What is going on with this? I don't know if that's just a sprite bug or if it's meant to look this way, but either way, it's cool. One-legged table. A campfire, like somebody was just here. It's weird being in this maze and having the feeling like we just missed somebody who was here. Don't like walking into the tall grass like this. Especially leading to a dead end, and the sounds it plays when we brush past them. Is that part of the mod pack, or is that something Vanilla Minecraft does? I don't think so. I was shocked by it earlier when... Hello? Oh, one of the paintings has been knocked down by the tree. Hi. That is one freaky-looking fox. What is going on up there? Is that... Oh, that's a cloud. I was gonna say, that's a cloud or the mothership is landing, and I believe either one. It's also worth noting that there's so many dirt blocks, like somehow the grass hasn't fully grown in, like all this was just placed. Well, you know what we gotta do? We gotta try and climb our way out of here. Sorry, coming through. It looks like the entrance to a house, but it's just a little tunnel in amid the dirt. It's more of those bricks, and whatever this is. Some type of bookshelf. Glasses left out on the table. A whole hidden library. Well, it's not even the first one we found. Okay, the generation in this is nuts, but I need to find myself some tools and some ways to stack myself out of here. Well, we can hear birds here, but I haven't seen any. Alright, we are going to try and make our way out. We can get up and above. Oh, wow. Alright, running jump then. We may be able to get above it, but I'm not sure what that does. Oh, there are lamps just suspended. In fact, with the right gen, we could maybe even jump on top of them to climb out naturally. There's towers already here. This reminds me so much of those, like, early alpha builds that were emulated in certain sections of Wonderland.jar. I don't know if this is going to be a time for a dream catcher. I don't know how we come back from this. There is something there. Well, we didn't quite make that. But these plants are fascinating. I've never seen them before. Giant rose. Giant dandelion. Yeah, it's just big versions of the flowers that were there in real life. So it's beautiful, like a well-maintained garden. But it's also so easy to be, like, consumed by the outdoors and feel trapped in it. This is more of an actual house, and there's a bookcase entrance. Whoa! Dude, this Yume Nikki style connectivity is so interesting. Because it's consistent, but you gotta know how to do it. And it keeps you engaged with, like, coming back to the dreams again and again. You always know there's a level deeper. Books, which don't seem to have anything written in them. And all the loose papers just fly about, just like those birds. See, this could, in the dark, easily feel creepy, but the music informs us. The music lets us know, no. You can let go of your fear and just appreciate this for what it is, because this is awesome. Hey, it's the flowers that brought us here. It's so vertical. It's just endless books. You know, if you've ever seen like a 2-story library, you know that all you can think is, how big can we make this? And so this just gives you that. Now I'm seeing something down there that I want to get to. Hang on, I'm just going to need to take one of these so we can explore properly. MC Escher Library, it's beautiful. But we want to get ourselves over to there. There's a staircase of bookshelves leading to the ultimate little nook. So many of these dreams follow the logic of just a thought taken up to 11. An endless garden, a dark night, or even a home that isn't quite familiar. Well, this is the kind of thing that's meant to be cool, and that's why Yume Nikki isn't explicitly a horror mod, but it can be creepy at times, as can this be. But it can also be so many other things. Creepy is what we tend to default to with dreams. I actually like that there's just spots of light, you know? Because libraries can be creepy, but creepy can also be part of the fun of the experience. Having all of this to yourself, not knowing what's in between, but knowing that these halls and destinations are completely worth it. A little bit of nerves combined with amazing wonder. And I imagine we can leave by jumping through the abyss, the white plane of nothing at the bottom. But right now I'm trying to get to one of these jack-o'-lanterns. I can make the jump to that nook. There we are. When we come back and do more of this, once this is updated, I'm sure there's going to be plenty of incentive even to come back to the same places. There's a sitting room. So just more of this. Wait, do these bookcases work the same way? They do. Oh, we can go back and forth between them. All right, navigation ongoing. Beds in random places. See, there's a sort of sedated comfort to dreams a lot of the time. I mean, they can be terrifying. But I think in some way, the fact that you're lying in bed completely at rest, sometimes it comes through. Sometimes you can feel that. And I feel it even here, even though I'm not actually sleeping. Oh, we're in a cobblestone tunnel. No, I've got to find the jack-o'-lanterns. This just ends. That's kind of creepy. Here's another one. Alright. So that was the gameplay element of Yume Nikki, is mapping out the dreams. Just about anything could send you out of them at any time, but you would come back with that curiosity of, okay, be prepared for this. I gotta see this again. In other words, it gives us opportunities that we wish we had in our real dreams. I mean, why do you think lucid dreaming is such a sought-after skill? But alright, now we're gonna have to find jack-o'-lanterns all over again. There's even places that can funnel us down into lower levels. Where is this light even coming from? I mean, it's light from nowhere. Actually, I see. It's actually open all the way on top. I hadn't even thought of the idea that this whole thing had a ceiling, but there it is. Now, the other question is there any rhyme or reason to where we come in or out when we teleport? And what's in the mysterious cabin up here? It looks like it's probably pretty self-sealed, actually. Well, there's books inside. What else? See, it's cool, but dangerous. The pages flying around give an air of magic, but you also get the sense of wind in here. Like one misstep and you'll go toppling down below. And there's so many corners you have to jump if you want to get anywhere. Okay, let's put this away. This doesn't bring us anywhere. So it really is just the bookshelves, I guess. Still, are you the librarian? Are you the keeper of this place? You've got your hat or perhaps powdered wig? I mean, with the redstone torches in your sort of hands, I get the impression that you're the arbiter of what counts as too loud. Maybe a watchful judge that we're always afraid of earning the ire of. I see a ladder in there, but I don't see how to reach it. Well, if we can go up here, it's all self-contained. Even got its own trapdoor. I mean, imagine just getting a bunch of cloth and old paper, stuffing it to make a mattress in the corner, and having your own little protected cage, even safe from the darkness out there if that's too much for you. Alright, into the void. It takes us somewhere else! Well, not else. Stubbed their toe and fell. Screw that, let me back in. I see our incense burner is working wonders. But now we've got to find ourselves another town. Okay, how did we do that before? Alright, what we're looking for, we need to find the illumination. This thing right here, this is what we need to learn for this mod, to left click or right click on anything that stands out. Huh. Oh, hey, there's chicken here. And a climbing pick. And an approximation of a bedroll on the floor. We're coming right into somebody's campsite. On long abandoned streets. That is so cool. Look, see, everything in this mod, it's exactly how dream logic works. One thought always leads into another. If you see something in a small way, the dream will take it on in a big way. How does this work? Whoa! Well, we can definitely be hurt by that. Ow. This is not the easiest thing to use. Okay, I'm just killing myself with this. All it does is launch us directly up. We can't actually, like, hold on to the wall like it's white knuckle. But see, this could easily be seen as desolate and dreadful. But the music informs us otherwise. This is cool. We're somebody who likes exploring, and there's time now. We really have the run of the place, and there's nobody to tell us no. And so just through the influence of music, this goes from a devastating vision of an apocalypse to just what we've always wanted. Okay, well, this is why they give us food, I think. Yep. Oh, that sounded like it damaged it. Now we're inside now, and the views from up here are great. But what if we go a little downward more? We can go downward a long way. Like it's got all these tiled glass panes. I will take a steak. A tree. Basically growing iron. What is this? Well, I guess it is still leaves, just very dead leaves. And pipes running everywhere. It looks like a city, but I guess it's combined with industrial. It wasn't anything real, just a combination of ideas that are close together in your mind. Whoa. All kinds of little hiding places, but getting inside these buildings isn't easy because so few of them actually have entrances at ground level. In fact, this place seems to be built not just around exploring, but around climbing as well. Okay, here's some ground level entrances. We do see some boarded doors also. We're in the mouth of the creeper. Oh, that is quite a view. Absolutely amazing. See, it's so much variety. And it's something that you can focus on if you want to, but the fact that it's just an extra extension to the Minecraft experience. Oh, that gave me a real sense of vertigo. Oh, look! There's just a living room here with a lamp that's still on and everything. A little bit of life. And chairs, each facing perfectly out the window, leading to nothing. Well, we can at least sit here for a while. See, this is the room that to me justifies the music. This is what you're looking for. Walking these dead streets and all you're trying to do is find the way home. Going from a campsite to something that feels more like it could be yours. I am fascinated by this idea. Oh, hey, tripwire, not connected to anything. But yeah, I'm fascinated by this idea of showing you one thing but telling you another via music. And just kind of let the player work out the disconnect in their mind if there is to be one. Garbage bags. Well, I could use garbage bags, I guess. Since this is a dream and we don't have to care about self-preservation, let's see how we do on the climbing pick. It is not enough to climb vertically. Too much of a cooldown on it. So with that being the case, I guess we're more or less done here. But man, if we can take this to other worlds, that'll be nuts. Okay, we wake up once more. It's not night quite yet, but it will be soon. That's one of the few constants in the world. You fall, you die, you wake up and try again. And we do get to keep the climbing pick. And to a lesser extent, the garbage bag. So that's what we learned. It is actually better strategy to use the Dreamcatcher to wake yourself up, rather than just not caring about dying. That's neat! It gives you like a pinch yourself mechanic to save yourself from what loss of progress could be considered. And I wish I had used that before I lost the radio. But now, we need to get back to where the radio was useful. We need to take on the basements again. Here's one. Yeah, we just have to make it there. Oh, candles. Could really use some light, but we can only see it beyond the window. Oh, wait. Oh, these are some kind of light block. Yeah, this is definitely the most terrifying of the dimensions thus far. A dull knife and a hatchet. The dull knife is apparently useful for breaking stones against all logic. I guess it's like a carving knife or something. Oh, there's an upstairs sort of area. Complete with a portable sun. It really is like the back rooms. The more you look, the more you find. And now that we've seen those sunrooms, these bricks have the association with sky. There's bedrooms, which I dare not use. A lot of the walls are not actually complete. They don't go all the way up. A mannequin could very easily hide amid these doors. I heard something over on the right. Comic! Yep. Well, we'll try again tomorrow. Let's test this knife on stone. It's actually very, very fast, yeah. And from that, we can learn that these are called ritual stone. Nothing here, nothing is as default as it seems. I wonder what those neon planks would be called then. Possibly just neon planks, but who knows? One of these days we'll tackle that. We'll get a bunch of blocks and use it to build a bridge. Now here we are in the store. Hopefully that means we're close to an opening. Okay, we've got to make that dive. First, I'm sorry, I can't resist. Just keep ending up in new places, but there is a mannequin down there. They seem to pop off at random. That's part of what makes them so terrifying. Alright, Dreamcatcher selected. But just in case. There's just no way to... there's no way to tell you're not going to make it until you're right there. Red carpet. And a hall of doors. Diagonally, which looks really weird in Minecraft. Huh. I actually managed to kill a couple of these creatures. And as expected, they do drop the creakling flesh. Alright, let's try this for the third time. Actually hitting this narrow spot is so difficult to do. There we go. Alright, so we know now that we can fight back against them. They don't actually have much health. But allegedly there's a block here that we should be looking for. Ow. You were gonna... we can't attack you until you pop. Oh god, there's a bunch of them! I wonder if maybe only some of them can come to life. They are so fast, and I never had much of a conception of just how fast until now. But all of them in proximity like that. Maybe if we get inside this little hall, it's hardly a hall. There's another pool, which means another way up. Oh my god. Nope. Nope. Oh my god. So I've been here for quite a while, killed quite a few creaklings. But I'm not finding whatever it is I'm supposed to be finding. You'll go back to a dormant state. What is this? A gravestone, it looked like. Bringing us amid gravestones. Now, there's a lot of strange dreams, but this feels like the deepest one yet, literally and figuratively. because we had to work for this one. This is the oldest iteration of cobblestone we've seen. Look. We had to drop down to the depths. We not only had to find that place in the first place, but also survive the landing, all the horrible creatures that infest that place, and find this needle in a haystack. And now we're given something that feels like relief, but is profound in a way I can't really place. But dreams are often like that. They can be imbued with such meaning, and it feels life-changing, and then you wake up and you're like, I can't really make sense of any of that. Maybe we'll find something in one of these towers? No, in fact, we'll find literally nothing. That looks sort of like a castle. Nothing here, though. Except something to maybe send us back. Of course, I have to ask the question, what happens if we dig down? Yeah. Rolling hill grass. In other words, grass that looks the same no matter the angle you view it from. Perhaps at this point I should just use the Dreamcatcher to wake myself up. But I do at least still have the tombstone to bring me. These have just spawned corner to corner. But they are the same. Well, if there is nothing to be found in the wells or any other such place, I guess this is the grave we can crawl ourselves out of. Yep. And brought straight back to the creaky place. Although this does at least revive us from the basement. Well, look. Beside the sun, I think is a safe enough place to lift ourselves out of. Let's just grab a torch for the road and pinch ourselves. This mod is amazing, and I can't wait to see it develop. But back to my old outro. It is very much like Yume Nikki, but with the openness that Minecraft offers, and it's really cool that it's not just seeking to port that experience to Minecraft, and is in fact kind of merging with its strengths. You know, it's really weird to see the flash of the load screen right before you get here. Like, in one frame, my brain processes almost there. Imagine if that happened every time you go to sleep, like somebody is communicating with you on the other end. Well, that's that cake gone. And there's our extra health kicking in. Still, it seems like there are only the three. Only the three with very varying levels of scarcity. Like these brick doors are everywhere. Then the wood ones are a little bit more rare, and the rarest of all are the neon room, which I forgot to F3. But I won't forget this time. What is this place called? This is Waist-High Waters. Kind of interesting then that the game actually considers the sewer part to be the operative part of this. Oh, but this time we can move about. It does have a real playhouse effect to it, doesn't it? Oh, hey. I think perhaps this could use some testing. I mean, granted, it's tough to get here, but I just ended up actually locking myself. Or I could always have just tunneled through the woods, so it's not like you'd get stuck there with no solution, but it's still kind of funny. So yeah, this has been an early preview at the still in development Sentimental mod pack, and it's awesome. It's curious. It invites you to explore dreams in a way that gives you the freedom to explore, but still has room to feel random if it's not what you're here for. And that makes it a perfect supplementary mod. Sort of like, before I drew the comparison to Herobrine, something which you're not actively tracking down, but that just kind of attaches itself to your game. And dreaming, with the size and scope of Minecraft, is something that I'm honestly surprised the vanilla game hasn't tried to tackle yet. I wonder if some of these structures are a quirk of the world gen, or if it's actually deliberately done this way. I'm still finding new things, but like I said, I'm pretty sure this mod is severely outdated even now as I'm recording it, because it is in very heavy active development, and I've seen some cool things in the brief peeks that I've had at the Discord. I feel like this is just a winning formula, you know? Like Scooby-Doo, the kind of thing that you can always try with new ideas. You need look no further than the 1,000,000,001 Yumi Nikki fan games. Dream Exploration has literally endless possibilities. And to see this updated, it can go as far as they want to take it. I'm sure I'll be playing it again at some point in the future, but until then, this looks like a good spot to rest. You ever have a really good sleep in a dream? It's better than regular sleep. It usually happens when your body is trying to wake up, but you really don't want to. That's how I feel right now. And if you like this video, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe for more creepy and comfy content. If you have any ideas for other videos you think I should do, the best place to suggest that will be at the Discord, which I will link in the description. If you want to try this mod out for yourself, it may not be available yet. If you want to support me on Patreon, that link will be in the description. And as always, I will see you in the next one.